Yo, what is happening, guys? Undisputed folks, and today we're back from the Undisputed podcast. And as always, I'm back with Shay.
Hello.
Hello. I'm not even gonna ask you what did you do in your week because there's no point in that anymore. So we're gonna change it from now on to be what are you gonna do for the rest of your day? We're gonna change it to that because then at least we'll have a goddamn answer. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's actually pretty decent.
It'll most likely still be the same thing from the both of us, which is not much.
Yes, exactly. I plan on reading my book and getting further into it, but knowing me, I'll plan on reading my book and then just sit in the phone. So, I'll probably just sit in the phone.
Fair enough.
What about you?
I'm going to my sister's later, and I'll spend time there, have a drink, and then come back later. That's really it. I have a bunch of other stuff, like I have a bunch to record and edit today, but actually, like, doing it's different is I'm just going to my sister's.
Oh, that's because it's the 11th today, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not even that. I don't really care about that. We're just having a drink, because drink. I don't care about that. It's just an excuse to have a drink and relax, because I need a fucking break. So.
Fair enough. Well, see, because I completely forgot that it was even like near the 11th right now because fucking, I didn't book it off in work because I completely forgot. So I did. So this whole time, and I only remembered whenever my team lead, one of the team leads said in the morning meeting that we'll have in front of everybody that me and another guy Dave aren't supposed to be booking it off, or we can't book it off anymore because everybody else is off but me and him. And I'm like, oh my fucking god! So literally tomorrow on Tuesday, there's only me and Dave in work. So there is.
Oh,
I'm like one team lead, and we're on from 8 to 5 because it's all this week.
Oh
it's just 8 to 5s, which is decent as fuck because it's not 10:30 to 7:30, which is what it would be. So.
Yeah. So I guess there's positive and negative.
Exactly.
Fair
But
enough.
yeah, no. Right, so it's only me and him, and then Tuesday is Dave's last day working, and I'm like, he gets to spend it with me because we're brothers. So yeah, but no, that's how that's gonna go. So it's gonna be shit. So you know, we good.
Fair enough.
Excited. Sure.
Fair enough. You can't even see me, but I'm just gonna say, if I look tired, it's because I am. It's like, to put it simply, you probably see it in the video. I probably look so tired. It's like fatigue has hit me harder than a sack of balls hitting a hole in the face. It's hit me really hard.
God damn!
I was up till 5 watching the UFC, so I'm just knackered. I'm just fucking knackered.
I've got a question. Got a question.
Oh.
See CM Punk? Is he still in the UFC?
No.
Oh.
No, he's not.
Sick. He's my favorite.
Thankfully.
wrestler.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to see him in the UFC.
Why? Is he bad?
He had 2 fights, he got the shit kicked out of him, both of them.
Oh shit.
He was good in
wrestler, like,
he's good in the wrestling. He learned the difference between scripted and real. He realized that just because, like, don't get me wrong, like, obviously wrestling's scripted. I say it's not fake, it's scripted. The reason I say it's not fake is because if it's fake, you couldn't get injured. It's not fake.
Injuries are real.
Yeah, but so I say wrestling isn't fake, it's scripted because obviously it's set up.
Like,
but it's not fake because you can you're more likely to get injured doing that than playing basketball, and basketball isn't fake. And they say basketball, you know, it can get physical. So it's simple as this: if you're going to say basketball players get physical and they're tough, well then you got to say it with them because yes, it is scripted. But you know, in any sport, injuries, you know, can happen, so it's not fake. But he learned the difference between a fake little punch and someone taking you to the ground and fully punching an elbow and wanting to cave your skull in. Like, he learned the difference. And see, it's different when Brock Lesnar done it, because that's different. Because Brock Lesnar bounced between the UFC and the WWE, and also, even though I don't like Brock Lesnar, he is a freak of nature and he's a very scary human being. So that's different, because Brock Lesnar is a freak of nature, but CM Punk isn't. CM Punk is not a freak of nature, he's just a human.
Do you know Brock Lesnar's daughter looks exactly like him?
Yes,
it's crazy.
It's kind of disturbing. It's kind of disturbing.
Fuck, I wouldn't want to go up against him, like, cause he's creepy, like.
Yeah.
The fucking, I remember that. I remember, there were stories of Brock Lesnar that he used to. There was one of his matches where he actually physically punched the guys in the face, like he wasn't meant to.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's fake. or scripted, and he wasn't actually meant to hit him that hard, but he ended up hitting him that hard. So he did, and he wasn't meant to. And then his fight with Shane McMahon, I think, whenever he got him up and he threw him through the back glass, and there was one where the back glass was meant to break and it actually didn't, and then Shane went down on his neck and he almost broke his fucking neck, and then he said, "Chuck me through it again." He said that.
No, that was Kurt Angle.
Oh, Kurt Angle. Yeah, that was Kurt Angle.
I was about to say, I'm like, no, because I was thinking there, I was playing, I was like, no, in the old DVDs, whenever you switch it on, you see it happening, and I'm like, no, that was Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle suplexed him, and then he fell, he landed on his neck, and then he had to do it again, and I don't know.
I get them too mixed up so much, because they're like, athletes, like, you know what I mean?
But it's like, well, Kurt Angle's a fucking killer, like, he won. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're talking about Shane McMahon on his neck, sure, Kurt Angle won an Olympic gold medal wrestling with a broken neck. So he's a fucking. That's why I say it out of everybody. I think Kurt Angle, wrestling wise, is probably the best wrestler ever, man. One with a broken neck. Like, I'm talking about grappling wrestling, like actual wrestling, because WWE's not actual wrestling. You know what I mean? Where like actual wrestling, Kurt Angle's he's a fucking gold medalist. You can't argue with that. But
I loved that one move that Shane McMahon did, where he was up on the top turnbuckle and he got someone else in the other fucking corner and had like one of them big dustbins on him, and he used to just jump and just double fly kick them right into the bin, or like the bin right onto them, and I'm like, that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
It was so good.
No,
I love that shit.
About it, what was I saying about injuries? How did we get all this conversation? Because I had something to say.
The injuries are real.
Oh yes, well, we're talking about the UFC, and then you said about CM Punk.
Yeah.
Talking about injuries, I was watching the fight last night. You don't know Dustin Poirier, but you know who Conor McGregor is, obviously.
Yeah.
They had the fight last night. I stayed up for it. I was almost sick. It was so disgusting.
Wow.
At the end of the first round, because Dustin Poirier won. He was winning anyway. I don't care what anybody says. He was winning. But Conor McGregor, do you know the way, like, obviously, say you throw a punch and then you step back and like you plant your feet.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell Conor was fatigued and he planted his foot, but he was so tired he didn't plant it flat, and he went over on his ankle and his ankle broke. Thankfully for him, there was 5 seconds left, and as soon as like he hit the floor after breaking his ankle, the referee was like, no, you can't go on, you've broken ankle. But he hit the floor and you could actually see it snap in two, and it was so disturbing. Because you saw it, like, do you know where you see it, like, hang? When he was sitting, you could see it dangle. Oh, it was so disgusting.
Fucking grim, man.
It was so disgusting. I felt so bad for him. And then he opened his mouth and I stopped feeling bad for him.
Why?
See, back in the day, I used to like Conor McGregor, right? He's still entertaining. I used to like him. And then he got really on my nerves, right? Because I still like him as entertainer. But then Conor McGregor, whenever he was up and coming, he was cocky, he talked shit. But I liked that, right? Because he backed it up. Then he got the money and the fame went to his head and he thought he was better than everybody, and then he done multiple fucking things wrong. Like, I'll give you one example. There was a time he released his Proper 12 whiskey. And he went into a bar in Ireland and offered it to people. There was one guy that didn't want to have it, and he ended up... There was an old guy, he punched the guy just because he wouldn't take his whiskey. And that's why I don't like McGregor. And I said, I was like, see, I used to like him, but see now, he's just a twat. And I was like, he's entertaining, but I don't care, he's a twat. And I was cheering for Dustin. And this is what I was happy to see, right? In the last fight, he fought Dustin Poirier at the start of the year. I was cheering for Dustin, because I said that Conor won their first fight, when they were younger. Like, whenever they first started. I said, I hope Dustin humbles McGregor. He knocked him out. In this fight, I hope Dustin wins the trilogy. And he did. But the thing I don't like about McGregor, he broke his ankle far enough. Because, like I said, I wouldn't wish an injury upon anyone. It's not nice, because to give you a quick example, is like, in the NBA Finals a couple of years ago, Raptors played the Golden State. And obviously, Golden State is was the rivals of the Cavs. So, fuck Golden State. Kevin Durant was on it. But Kevin Durant landed wrong, and I think he tore his ACL or his Achilles or something. And when he went down, the Raptors fans started cheering, and I was even there, and I'm like, nah, I'm cheering for the Raptors. I don't want Golden State to win, and I'm not I don't hate Durant, but I'm not a big fan of him. But you don't do that when someone has injured themselves. It's like you don't. Even the Raptors players were like, right, we know it's the finals and all, but they were like, you don't cheer whenever they go down. Like, you don't wish injury upon people, even if you dislike them, because at the end of the day, it's like say you dislike an athlete, right? You dislike them because you just don't like the way they play. It's not like they've murdered someone. You don't. If they've murdered someone, then fair enough, wish a fucking injury upon them, fuck them. But see, if you just don't like the way they play, or that sport you like, don't wish an injury upon them. They're not that bad, you just don't like them in that sport. Like, it's not that serious. But then, so McGregor broke his ankle, I felt bad, and then he started opening his mouth, talking shit like McGregor does, and that's why I don't like. If McGregor had have admitted that Poirier was beating him, because fair enough, it got stopped because he broke his ankle, but if he had admitted that Poirier was getting the better of him, but he would like a rematch, I would have been like, right, sweet, whenever he's healed up, give him a rematch, and hopefully they can sort it once and for all, healthy. Yeah. But what he did do is he was saying, I was out boxing him, I was out striking him, I was doing this and that. I was like, McGregor, I'm telling you right now, there is not a single person on this earth that thinks you won that first round, and if they did, they need more than fucking Specsavers. They need eye surgery because they're blind. And I'm like, and the thing is, there's a lot of people running about saying he was winning the first round. I'm like, you see, this is how I know you're a delusional McGregor fan, because you thought he won that first round. I'm like, he didn't. It's not even the fact that Dustin beat him up a little bit. Dustin was whooping his ass like McGregor was his child. And I'm like, and a lot of people ain't gonna like that because McGregor's the more popular one. But it's just the fact, Dustin was whooping him. You know what I mean? That's what I didn't like. And then he was saying, he said that Dustin will finish it. He goes, whether it's in the octagon or on the sidewalk. And then he started talking shit about Dustin's wife and all again.
Wow.
And I was kind of just like, you see, McGregor, this is why I hope when you get healthy you step in there. And I hope Dustin actually, I hope you don't break your ankle, but I hope Dustin beats you. I hope he doesn't knock you out quick like the last time, and he beats humbleness into you, because you need to fucking wise up. You know what I mean? I was like, you need to fucking wise up. Because I don't like that. Like, if you lose, just accept the fact you fucking lost. Because like I said, he lost because of his ankle, fair enough. But not a single person on this earth that has common sense and good and decent eyesight thought he won that first round and thought he had a chance of winning. He wasn't. It was going to be stopped in a second. Dustin was going to take him down and pummel him, and the ref was going to stop it. You know what I mean? It's so I was kind of just like, I'm not happy you broke your ankle. But Dustin actually said it best. Dustin turned around and said, he said, karma's not a bitch, she's a mirror. And I like that, basically saying to McGregor that you brought it on yourself, because in the lead up, McGregor was talking about Dustin's wife and goes, oh, I'm going to kill you in that octagon. And Dustin goes, I'm all for the trash talk. And he goes, but when you actually, like, you don't say, oh, I'm going to kill you, blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of, because he said everything's fair in a trash talk game. And he goes, but there's some things I don't fuck with. And he goes, and he said a few things like that. And he goes, so if he wants to get back in here, he goes, no, I'll whoop his ass. And I was like, good. I was like, good. But yeah, no, I just, he needs to fucking wise up. Oh, yes. And do you know what? This is one time I've actually been like, do you know what, Jake Paul? I like you. Because Jake was at the fight, and obviously, you know, Jake's trying to get a boxing match from McGregor. So, do you know I told you Dustin Poirier knocked McGregor out last time?
Yeah.
So obviously McGregor got turned into him, because it always happens. Jake Paul had 100k necklace. I know what it was. Do you know you obviously haven't, you might have seen it, but you probably haven't. Do you know why Conor McGregor knocked out last time? He was lying with like his head in his hand. Jake got like a 3D print version of that, like a little small one, about like smaller than your hand, not too small, but it was like a wee 3D print, and he put it on a necklace and went to UFC. He literally walked around with like a 3D print of Conor McGregor knocked out, and then he tweeted at Dustin Poirier on Twitter saying, do you want me to send you this? It's a 100k gift. And then he started going Sleepy McGregor and showing him, and I was like, everybody's so annoyed at him, because obviously everybody hates Jake Paul, and I was like, I don't like Jake Paul, and I'm like, but it's just so funny because he's so good at trolling people, and it's the fact that McGregor is one of the best trash talkers ever, and I was like, and I think Jake and McGregor would actually be really good, because Jake would trash talk, and I was like, at this point, Jake's just trolling McGregor, and McGregor's not doing anything about it. And I was like, I don't like Jake, but it's really entertaining.
That was the one you put on your Snapchat story.
Yeah, so you saw it, the 3D print. Like, that's smart. Even if you don't like Jake, that's a good game plan. Like, that was smart. It's petty, and that's what's good. I just laughed so hard. I was like, that's so petty, and that's why I love it.
No, he is good at some points. Like,
yeah, I don't like him. He's a twat, but he's good at being a twat, and I like that.
Right.
But, You only have a few topics here, but we'll get on to the dad joke real quick here. Right? I don't know if I've told this one, so I'm going to ask you. Have I told you the one about the unicycle? I think I told Slate. I think I told Slate whenever you weren't there, because I wanted to save it for the podcast. If I have, we'll then have a backup one. What's the difference between a well-dressed man on a unicycle and a poorly dressed man on a bike? Attire.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. Oh my god. Just, nah. Nah.
At least you got it. A lot of people I told didn't get it, because attire is obviously a really American term. Like, we don't use it.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's
Americans
in
use
WWE
it.
games, so that's where I first heard of it. Attire.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of people I told don't get it because it's obviously an American term. So whenever you started laughing in my head, I was like, at least he got it. Because like, I think you and Slay were the only two that actually got it. Everybody else I said goes, I don't get it. And I said, attire is in clothing. They go, oh.
Oh my god, fam, that's just stupid as fuck.
But that's what that's
Yeah. Oh my god.
Your favorite person ever has returned to YouTube. I don't know if I said this last week. James Charles. Actually, no, sorry. Two Kiddler Fiddlers have returned. James Charles and Mini Lad. The Kiddler Fiddlers are back, and they're back better than ever. Well, they are. They're taxing underrated. Well, I mean, they probably are, but they're back.
Jesus.
That's it. The Kiddler Fiddlers are back. The Fiddlers are back in town.
Do you know what, actually, there was a... Sorry, just to cut you off for a second. There was a post on, what was it? Twitter or something. And it was just a screen grab of James Charles's fucking video. And basically, he says, owning up to my actions, and he had his makeup off and he was crying and all that shit. And you're just like, who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you can do all this bad shit, but just because you own up to your own actions doesn't take away the fact that you did something really fucking bad.
Was that the one recently?
I think so. I don't know. I saw it like a month ago.
I know he... Well, it wasn't, because I know he posted like a video about a week ago whenever he came back, and that Keemstar covered it, and it sat there, what was it? It was a title like... I think it was like a sit-down conversation. Do you know where he was going to sit down? And do you know whenever like you sit down and you own up to shit and you don't use any excuses and you sit down, you act like the camera isn't there and you're talking to us directly. And Keem goes, I watched this, and he goes, and he did not do anything. He goes, he literally just rambled on about a bunch of random shit. He goes, I looked over it about 5 times. He goes, he didn't say anything that was actually useful. And I was like, what a surprise, because it's not even just that. What a surprise that a YouTuber apology means nothing. Who would have guessed? You know what I mean?
But then again, a YouTuber apology in general doesn't mean shit. Because
well, yeah.
As I said, it's like, you know, you do bad shit and you do illegal, potentially, shit. I don't know what he's done, but like, he does like illegal, potentially shit. And it's just like, but you apologise for it and you take accountability for your actions. You're like, yeah, I did that. Well, fucking good, you know. Where's your, the shit that you deserve? Where's the bad shit you expect it all just to put over because you owned up to it? No. You know what I mean? You need to face your consequences, you dick. Sorry.
Yeah, so... No, I know, I was getting annoyed there because the fucking plane flew over. I could hear you, like, but it's just the plane flew over. No, I swear to God, can you fly over faster? No, yeah, like, the majority of YouTuber apologies are not sincere. I think, well, I know Logan's was. I know, because he changed, like, Logan, that's not, he's not the same Logan Paul that he was before Japan, and we've all fucking, like, realised that, like, obviously people still dislike him, fair enough, but they even admit that he's different, and he's wised up. But yeah, no, a lot of YouTubers, see, I'm on the fence about it, because whenever YouTubers fuck up, it's like this, right? This is why I'm on the fence about it, because it depends what they do, because not everything's the same, no way. Not every mistake's the same. Some YouTubers fuck up, and then they get hate, because, like, no matter who you are, you'll get hate. If you're a big YouTuber, you'll get hate. Like James Charles did. James Charles lost a lot of subscribers, he got a lot of fucking hate, blah, blah, blah. You'll get hate, you'll apologise for it and own up, and it all depends, like, do you actually mean it? Because some people actually do fucking mean it, you know what I mean? Some people have learned, some people don't. But my problem is, I'm on the fence about it, is because they're YouTubers, so, like, it depends what they've done. What James Charles did and what Mini Lad did, that should be jail time. I don't care.
What did James Charles do, though?
He messaged underage boys.
Oh, right.
And then Mini Lad was messaging underage girls. They should be in jail. Or even if they don't have to be in jail for life, but they should be in jail. And they should pay a fine. Because it's simple as this. YouTubers are humans. They're not... People need to stop thinking... Even celebrities, people need to stop thinking these YouTubers and celebrities are fucking amazing. Because celebrities get away with everything as well. They're fucking human beings. If they do something wrong, they should go to prison. I don't care. This is why I personally think that you shouldn't have the option to just bail yourself out every time. I think you should have the option maybe the first time, and then after that, it doesn't matter how much you offer, you should not be able to bail yourself out, because then you're just going to keep doing it. That's why so many rich people keep doing shit wrong, because they know they have the money and just slap down and bail themselves out. But yeah, no, so they should be held accountable because they're human beings, but at the same time, but then people are, and this isn't for James Charles, this is for people who do less action, hold them even more accountable, because then they go, oh, you're YouTubers, you do this, and they shit up. This is my problem, is, say what James Charles done, right? People let him off because he's famous, and they wouldn't let other people off. But say he was like stealing from a shop, right?
Yeah.
People, the YouTuber would get shit on more than a random person stealing from the shop, and that's because they're a YouTuber. And I'm like, but at the end of the day, they're still a human being, so why are you giving them more stick than that person around the corner from you that lifted from the shop? So it's like, it's fucked up, because sometimes the YouTuber gets let off because he's a YouTuber, and sometimes the YouTuber gets more stick because he's a YouTuber. And I'm like, I was like, people need to realise, just because you're a YouTuber doesn't mean you're a god. You ain't important. Yeah, I've said this multiple times. I don't give a shit who you are. It doesn't. LeBron James isn't fucking important. As simple as that. I'm a big LeBron fan, but am I saying if LeBron didn't exist, this world would be fucked? No, because LeBron isn't important. Do I love watching him play basketball? Yeah, I love basketball, but basketball isn't important. You know what I mean? The only people I think important is the essentials, not the politicians, because they're fucking useless. I just had to take a dig there. The firefighters, the police, and the nurses, the doctors, and all people who actually save people's lives and make them better, they are important. Everybody else, athletes, YouTubers, celebrities, movie actors, you're not important. You're not. Yeah. Are you helpful? Yeah. Just because you're helpful doesn't mean you're important. I can be helpful at certain points, but I'm not fucking important. You know what I mean? That's my problem, because sometimes YouTubers get more stick because they're YouTubers. Sometimes they get a lot off because they're a YouTuber. I'm like, no, they should do the time for the motherfucking crime. Simple as. If they do something a little bit wrong, shit on them, and then if they apologise, fair enough. But if they do something really fucked up, you're kind of just like, right, an apology doesn't fix that. You know what I mean? It's like an apology doesn't, especially if they keep doing it. It's like, some things you can forgive. Like, if you lift from the shop, I personally think there is excuses for you to lift from the shop. If your family's really struggling and you lifted because, say for example, you see a lot of people in poor countries lift from the shops because they need to feed their children. Obviously, it's not right shoplifting, but I don't see you did anything wrong because you're just trying to survive. But if you go in and, like, say for example, you assault someone in a shop for different, that's different. You throw someone through the fucking freezer window, take out the box of cod fish, and start beating them over the head with it, that's a little bit different.
Because it's like, it's like this. Like, in my view, it's like, you should be judged basically on whether or not you've changed for how many fucking apology videos you've had to make. Because, you know, I put the quotations around had to make. You shouldn't have to make an apology video. You should want to.
Yes, I mean. Yeah.
You should want to. You shouldn't have to. It's kind of like, say you have a kid, right? And you're not with the girl anymore. And the courts is making you pay child support, right? But it shouldn't be, oh, I have to pay child support because of the courts. It should be,
I want to take care of my children
to support my child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's well said. I 100% agree.
Yeah, it's like, how many fucking apology videos has Shane Dawson made by this point? It's like, I love Shane Dawson. Like, he's one of my favourite YouTubers, but he's made a shitload of apology videos, all dealing with the same thing because people are offended at his jokes. You know what I mean? And he does a lot of stupid shit. Yes, he does. But, you know, how many apology videos has he made and has he changed? You know what I mean? I think he has, and I think he has changed because he hasn't made any more videos. You know what I mean? His
Yeah.
last video was last fucking June or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was ages ago. You know, I'm still waiting. Like, yeah, it's
He's
been a
supposed
minute.
to be coming back with a documentary on Britney Spears, apparently.
Oh, well, there we go. Yeah,
Do you know the whole Free Britney thing? He's supposed to be coming back for a documentary, but that was announced like a month ago or something. Because that was announced before Dax brought out his video about Britney, and I was kind of just like, right, well, whenever Shane comes back, because like I like Shane's documentaries.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like it's the whole controversy around Shane, the whole jokes things. I don't really care because I'm kind of like, at the end of the day, he meant them as jokes, but at the end of the day, I was like, at the end of the day, he meant them as jokes, but at the end of the day, people have the right to be pissed off if they want to, and people need to accept that. It's like I said, if I tell a joke and you don't like it, that's fair enough. I'm not going to change it. But I have the right to tell them, but you also have the right to be pissed off. Like, I can't just turn around and tell you to wise up, because then I need to wise up, because you have the right to be pissed off. And I think people struggle to comprehend that in their head, that people are allowed to get annoyed at shit. Because it's like, say even Tom McDonald, right? I agree with Tom McDonald. People are too fucking sensitive, and I wish everybody could just have a laugh. But there is times that Tom McDonald does push the buttons of people, and then they get annoyed, and then Tom McDonald sees, you're getting triggered, and I'm like, yeah, but they're getting triggered because you're being an asshole. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm on your side. Like, they are a bit sensitive. I'm like, but when you're pushing their buttons and then being triggered, you can't blame it on them. You're intentionally pushing their buttons. Don't get me wrong, I find it funny because you push the buttons of the ones that are assholes. But then again, it's like they're being assholes to you, so you're being assholes back. That's all for a game. But then it's like they be an asshole to you, be an asshole back. They have a right to be an asshole to you for the second time, and it's going to keep going. You know what I mean? So like, don't turn around and like shit on them because you're doing the same. It's just accept the fact that you think they're sensitive, they think you're offensive, and if you just want to argue, go for it. But don't like try to like justify what you're doing because you think they're wrong. Just accept it that they have a different opinion. You know what I mean? That's just the way I feel, because like I said, people just argue over the dumbest shit sometimes. It's like, they have the right to be offended, you have the right to tell a joke. If you want to tell that joke and you don't care about them being offended, fair enough. If they want to get offended by that joke, well then they can go elsewhere. And it's really simple as that. So as Shane Dawson goes, I get people are offended by his jokes, they have the right to be. He doesn't have to apologise, because if he finds his jokes funny, simple as. So that's the way I feel. If people... There's people out there that like his humour, so he could make YouTube videos and still get loads of views, and it's simple as that. So there's no point apologising, because not everybody's going to forgive you. If you do something really, really bad that's not a joke, well then, yes. It depends what it is. But if it's just a joke, you can apologise if you want to, but you don't necessarily need to, in my opinion. Unless it was like really targeted or really bad. Because there is, like, you could say it's a joke, but it could sound as a threat to someone, you know what I mean? Like... But
because see, this is why I don't get this whole, YouTube people thing, the cancel culture and all this shit. Because they clearly have a bias of, who they're going to do it to, who they're going to cancel. Because if stuff comes out about them, they're going to cancel them based on how fucking famous they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at this point, I've heard more about Shane Dawson in the last couple of months and shit like that, and all of his situations than I've ever heard about James Charles. But Shane Dawson made jokes that people didn't like years ago, and James Charles messaged young people to this day.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no doubt that James Charles did worse. But it's like, but it's like the whole thing is that I'm just gonna end it after this this conversation, because we'll go on for ages. But the last thing I need to say is about the whole thing. It depends on the situation. Whenever people say, "Oh, he made it back then," so that justifies it. I'm going to make a statement. You don't have to agree with it, but that's just my opinion. It depends on the situation, because if it is a joke, fair enough. But there is people who have that, say, no odd opinion you had. I agree with you that if it was a joke, you're kind of just like, well, it was fine back then. Because it's not like you targeted towards somebody. It was justified back then, so you can't just go, oh, well, you can't make that today. Well, they didn't make it today, they made it back then. But then there's people that hold that, like I said. There's people who say...
It was so offensive back then.
Yeah. But it's like, there's people who say racist or homophobic slurs, and then they'll be like, oh, but I said it in a time that... It's like Eminem. Eminem used to say the F word, and I'm not going to say... He used to say the F word on a consistent basis. And nowadays, he would probably justify that and be like, oh, but back then it was different. And be like, yeah, it was. but you still shouldn't have said it. You know,
Exactly,
if you don't
yeah,
agree,
yeah.
it's like I've said, if you don't agree with it, I don't care. I agree with it. I support it. You want to be out, you fucking do. I fuck everybody else. If you don't agree with it, fair enough. But you can't justify and be like, oh, but I said it back then, so it's different now.
Exactly.
You still said it.
it
you still
is.
said it. It's like, it doesn't bother me he said it because I don't care. It's like, it's kind of just like, I don't think others care either. Well, some people do. But it's kind of just like, if you said it, fair enough. You want to be like, fair enough. But don't try to justify it. Just own up to the fact you said it. You know what I mean? If you feel like that, just admit you feel like that. Don't try to hide it. Because you've already said it. You've already fucked up. So if it's like, if you don't agree with it, fair enough. If you want to hate on them, fair enough. But just admit it instead of like trying to hide away from it. If you get me? That's just my opinion.
I agree with you on that. It's like me, because whenever I was younger, I used to use homophobic slurs all the time. You know what I mean? And then it's like, you know, I could say that I said it back then, but I don't say it now, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But it still wasn't alright back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
sometimes I still use them now, but I use it only using my sister, and she don't really care. So,
yeah, that's a joke. Obviously, some people
Yeah,
like you still shouldn't joke about it, but
joke
you're
that
entitled
she
to
says
joke
fine
about it
to
if you
say,
want
so.
to. Yeah, you're entitled to joke about it if you want, but it's basically just that. So yeah, that was a little topic on cancel culture. It's stupid. Some people deserve. It's, you know what? Fuck cancel culture. If someone does something wrong, just yeet them in jail. And if someone does something little bit wrong, let them wise up and then continue. Give them a slap in the back of the head and be like, right, don't fucking do that again. If it's something little. But if it's something big, kick that motherfucker in the bollocks, grab them by the testicles, swing them round, and yeet them in the prison like the French people yeet their children over the fence. Was it whenever they're late for school, like in that meme? Do that.
You
Yeah.
would yeet them into prison like the French people yeet fromage on their toast.
Yes.
Because fromage is cheese. So there you go.
Yes, the one last thing is, one thing I'm excited for, because this is the 11th, one thing I'm excited for, KSI is releasing his album soon, all over the place, and I'm excited for it. There's another thing I'm excited for. Do you know the way that I tell you Logan Paul was spotted in London? And I'm pretty sure I said it to you that we thought he was going to be in a Sidemen Sunday. Okay, well, he was spotted in London. We thought he was going to be in a Sidemen Sunday. It doesn't look like he's going to be, but I've caught on to a little something. So, KSI said the 16th, 17th, and 18th are going to be mad. The 16th, I think, is his album. And the 17th and 18th is he's having this thing called the KSI show. Where he's literally, do you know like a night, do you know like, it's kind of like Jimmy Fallon's like that, but it has like live music and he's going to have guests and all on.
Like a talk show?
Yeah. And they're going to perform. Like he has like Craig David and all on, and I think he's getting Anne Marie and all. Because he's done songs with them, so he's going to get them on. I think he's going to talk and then they're going to perform. And he's announcing one day by day up until then. And he said, and there's a few special guests, and I'm like, is one of those special guests going to be Logan Paul? I'm so excited. I'm like, is one of those special guests going to be Logan Paul? I'm like, don't get me wrong, I would love to see Logan in a Sidemen Sunday. I would love it. But I'm like, I would love to see JJ and Logan sit down without Jake there, without the whole topic of Jake, and just speak, because like I said, the only time since they fought, they've actually sat down and had a conversation was when Jake was fighting Gib. And obviously JJ was sitting there being like, I don't fucking like Jake, he's a cunt, he's this, he's that, 'cause he really doesn't like Jake. And then him and Logan had a bit of a decent conversation, but then they didn't go at it, but JJ was saying that, and then Logan was kind of sticking up for him. I want to see them sit down, Jake isn't in the picture, and just talk, because I like the both of them, and I want to see them get along, because I personally think that if they didn't have their fight, they actually would get on pretty well. I really do. But I was just thinking, I'm like, is one of those special guests Logan Paul, because he was in London, he didn't state why he was in London, and Simon was asked on his stream why Logan was in London, and he goes, who knows why Logan's in London, and then he goes sarcastic, he goes, I do, and I was like, well, if he's not in a Sidemen Sunday, then there's a high chance he's going to be in the KSI show. If he's not in the KSI show, I don't know what the fuck he's doing in London. I highly doubt Logan, I'd say this, I highly doubt Logan would come to London voluntarily, considering the last time he came here for the first KSI fight, him and Jake got bricks, bottles, and everything chucked at them by the UK fans, so I highly doubt he'd come over here for a vacation. Even though a lot of people have changed their opinion on him from then, I would not feel comfortable coming over here if I were him. So he must be over for a reason, so I'm just hoping he's on that show, you know what I mean, because that would be sick. that would just be sick. Or, you know, a Sidemen Sunday as well, that'd be cool.
Something will be.
Yeah, I just want to see, because Logan and JJ will get along. Fuck Jake. JJ and Jake will never get along, and I'm fine with that. But I want Logan and JJ to get along.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. So the 16th is his new album. That's to say I'm excited because it's called All Over the Place and it has all different types of music. Like I said, you heard his Holiday one, haven't you? The one that he sings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's his best solo song ever. And then he has his feature ones. So we've heard a few of them on the album, like Don't Play and all. I don't think Letters on, but like all of them. And he literally said, every genre you could probably think of is probably on this album. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, imagine we just got a KSI heavy metal song.
Oh shit.
Or a KSI classical song.
Jazz. Fucking yeet.
Sure, Dax, after the Britney one, was hinting that he was going to do other genres. And whenever I was doing the Dax reaction, I was like, I want to see Dax, I want to see Dax do classical music or something. I said, I want to see Dax playing the violin, killing that beat.
Jesus.
Dax,
Opera.
Dax would do that. I guarantee you Dax actually will do an opera song for the sake of doing it. Just to do it once. I guarantee you. And I'll be here for it. I don't even like opera, but I like Dax, and that's good enough.
Except for the fact that the opera song will have the same amount of words as one of his normal rap songs, but this one will be an hour-long song because all the words are just like really drummed out.
Extended, yeah.
Yeah, they're extended like fuck. So.
Instead of rapping it, he's going to sing the bars.
Yes.
Oh. But yeah, so I'm excited for that. You like a few songs on that as well, so yeah. Then we'll move on to the questions here. I don't know if we've had Oh yeah, I don't know if we've had this one before. I feel like we've had something similar, but I'll ask it anyway. If we have. First question is, if you could know the absolute and total to one question, if you could know the absolute, if you could know, I don't know why the fuck they've worded it like this. If you could know the answer to absolutely anything, what would it be? I don't know why they've worded it like that. They said if you could know the absolute and total to one question, what would it be? In my head, that doesn't make sense. It probably does, but in my head, it doesn't make sense.
Absolute and total to one question, that doesn't make any sense because.
Okay, well then, well, do you know what? Whoever wrote that, I'm sorry, but like, yeah. You're expecting someone who's dyslexia to read a question that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? But we'll get it anyway.
That's generally not smart as well.
So I feel like we've answered this like in different forms before. Mine's obvious. I would ask what happens after death. That would be mine. Like that, mine's obvious. Yours would probably be space or some shit. You know
it's actually aliens if aliens do really exist.
I'm pretty sure we've had this conversation before. Multiple times, but I'm pretty sure
many times in the car have we had this conversation. I was meant to go home at like 12:30 in the morning, and I stayed there till 5 because we sat there talking about aliens.
Yeah, and paranormal. No, I'm pretty sure we've answered this before, but in a different form.
What?
Because it's obvious mine would be what happens after death, and then yours would be are aliens real? You know what I mean?
Yeah, or ghosts or something like that. Something, God.
Yeah, but yours would most likely be the aliens, because mine would be what happens after death. You know what I mean? Because if I ask what happens after death, that means, because it says the total truth, which means I would get after death what happens, and it would be like, oh, you do get reincarnated by the life cycle, which means there is no God, or God reincarnates you by the life cycle, or reincarnation. I would get the total truth, so I know if God's real, is there ghosts, how can ghosts be trapped here, is there reincarnation, why, how does this happen? I would know everything.
Oh.
You would probably know, are aliens real, how are they there, are they bacteria, do they look like us? You know what I mean?
See, that is the thing as well. I would ask that if I wanted to know something, like, in just a general thing that I had no control over, but if I had something else, I would ask them, how do I use 100% of my brain power? Because humans only use about 10% of their brain power. Imagine what we could do if we used 100%.
I would not
we could literally possibly teleport. Like, that would be awesome as fuck. You know,
Shay,
like, what?
Shay, if humans could use 100% of their brain power, politicians already doom us. Do you not think we would be in big trouble?
Well, yeah, but people would be a lot more.
Oh God!
No, because people would not just follow the crowd. You know what I mean? People wouldn't just vote for DUP because they want to keep the Sinn Féin dickheads out. You know what I mean? They would. actually look and they would choose and they'd be a lot smarter on their decisions. You know what I mean? Or to just be...
They would say, right, Tom MacDonald for Prime Minister, that's what we would do. We would have common sense.
Actually, even fuck Prime Minister, it's just one whole world president, and it's just Tom MacDonald.
Or just not have a president.
Or just not have people in power and be able to just do what the fuck we
Yeah,
want.
that's what I said, just not have a president. To eliminate money, nothing costs.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make a difference, like I said. I actually said this. I think I said it to you before. I said to Mum, I goes, do you know how crazy this is? I was like, do you know the way the world is run on money? It shouldn't be, but it is. I said, do you know how crazy it is at the thought that if you took me and you've had this conversation, if you took every single penny and cent off this earth and ran it the same way, there wouldn't be a difference, because people now go, it costs money for us to research and do that, but if money didn't exist, they wouldn't feel the need to be paid to do it. So I was like, if money just was taken off, they could still process without the money. It's just because money's here, people want it. I was like, do you know how crazy that is? That the fact we could have the same world without money if money never existed. And I was, but obviously, money does exist and that you'd need it. You know what I mean? But I was like, if it didn't exist, it actually wouldn't be different.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like, I think that money is just an umbrella term, really. Of course, it's actual money, it's that, you know what I mean? It's like, that's a 2p, that's money. You know
It's
what I mean?
cool paper.
Or like a fiver, that's money, you know. But think about it, right? I'm going to explain this to you really quick on how weird this is. But this is the way I view money, right? This is called a fiver, right? This is money. How crazy is it, right? That this is a bit of plastic with a fucking picture of the Queen and whatnot on it. You know what I mean? And it says £5 on it, and that actually just means something.
And it
You know
holds
what I mean?
so much
How
power.
crazy is that? Yeah, how crazy is that? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
But say you took money out of the equation, right?
Yep.
Money is just an umbrella term, because, you know what I mean, in my view, it's just, you know, it's a placeholder, because there exists a certain principle of, if I give this to you, what are you going to do for me? You know what I mean? So instead of doing that, instead of doing a chore for someone, because they did something for you, money.
That's literally what I just said, sure. I turned around and said, it's like whenever people go, oh, we can't do that because we don't have the money. If you took money completely out of the equation, they could do it without money. But the reason is there is money, and it's being made that money does need, so then they take the money. But if money didn't exist, they could easily do that without the money. You know what I mean? Money only matters because money exists. If money didn't exist, nothing would change, except the fact that money doesn't exist. But, so yeah. We would need a whole fucking podcast about conspiracy. We need to do that at some point again. Let us know in the comments if you want, instead of a basic podcast at some point, for us to actually sit down and have a full debate about a particular topic. So we have not done that.
Like the alien one, or like the what was on
We've
the
done
side of our
that so
heads,
many
or
times.
Like the supernatural
We need to do
one,
that inside our heads at some point again, yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. Get someone else on as well, so they can explain what the fuck's wrong with them.
they can understand. Are we sane, or are we both really intelligent, or are we both just so mentally unstable that we think each other is stable?
Or maybe the rest of the world's just mentally unstable.
Yeah.
And they think each other is stable, and we're just, you know. Oh, there's actually a conspiracy theory.
We're big brain.
Actually, no, I'll save that from a fact. There you go, that's my fact for today. Okay, cool.
Okay. Now, you can do it after this question then.
Sure.
The second question is, what is the best and worst chocolate? I love how it's completely different questions. What is the best and worst chocolate out of a celebrations box? Aye. Mine are gonna be two controversial ones, because I know the most popular answer of both. So I'll go first. The most popular answer is Maltesers for the best, right?
Yeah.
I think Maltesers is second best because I'm a big caramel fan. So it's a Galaxy caramel. Do you know what I said to Katie? Me and Katie talked about this because Katie said Maltesers is the best. I said caramel. I said to Katie, do you know what would be the perfect chocolate? Imagine Maltesers chocolate with caramel. I said that would be perfect. They go, but that doesn't exist for some reason.
Which one?
I was like, that doesn't exist for some reason. But I said, imagine like Maltesers chocolate with caramel. I said that would be the greatest. And I said, but I'm a big caramel fan, so I'm going to say the Galaxy caramel. Now, the worst. Oh, the worst is apparently a Bounty. No, it's not. It's a Snickers, right? And yeah, I'm gonna look directly into the camera right now when I say this, right? See, if you do not like Bounty, that is because your taste buds are little pussy holes, right? you are a little bitch because you don't like coconut. You like, oh, Snickers. You like nuts in your mouth because you're a little bitch, right? Snickers is trash, and it is the worst. That I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot fucking pole. Even the smell of it makes me want to vomit inside of my own mouth, and I'd rather re-swallow the vomit than eat a Snickers. So stop shitting on Bounty because coconut is amazing. And see, Snickers... I've had shits that look better than Snickers and smell better than Snickers. So I'm looking at you right now and say, if you say coconut's the worst and you prefer Snickers, you, my sir, or my madame, are a little bitch. you man, woman, dog, animal, flying unicorn, the shit's gold out of its booty, you're a bitch.
Wait,
Bounty is good. Not saying Bounty's the greatest, because it's not better than Galaxy or anything, but it's good. I don't fucking care. It's good. I like it. I don't care. You know that's controversial. Whenever I started and said Maltesers isn't the greatest, people were like, what? And I'm like, and Bounty's good. And they're like, what? People are ready to go out and create a fucking... people are ready to go shoot up a school right now because I said that.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Well, yeah, you're a bitch if you prefer Snickers over a Bounty. Do you know what? If you prefer Snickers over a Bounty, do you know what? You're not a bitch, you're just a disappointment. But if you genuinely just straight up dislike a Bounty, that's when you're a bitch. You're a bitch. Like, a Bounty is over a Twix, in my opinion. A Twix is decent. A Bounty's better.
Yeah, fair enough.
A Twix is nice, but I like Bounties. I don't care.
See, I eat Twixes too much to like them anymore, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you watch too much
Yeah.
porn, so the real just seems weird.
Yeah, I get what you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
What? We need a Coke flavoured chocolate bar. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Imagine a Coke flavoured with caramel. A Coke flavoured chocolate bar with caramel. Oh!
That'd be sick, fam.
Right,
wait, Coke with caramel? What the fuck is wrong with you? Sick. I'm like, yo, Coke with decent, and he said caramel. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, fam? Coke with caramel? Fuck off.
Well, not
Just
Coke with
fuck
caramel,
off.
but Coke type chocolate with caramel. I don't care.
Coke with caramel.
Shay, do you know what? A lot of people are probably sitting there thinking, Coke with caramel, that's weird. Well, do you know what? I bet you eat a Snickers, and that's all I have to say.
Yeah, they eat Snickers, I don't eat Snickers.
No, I'm talking about them. I said the people that are saying that are probably like Snickers anyway, so freedom and wheat, bitch. Case closed. Right, so what is your favourite and least favourite?
Yeah, how rare they are. Maltesers is my favorite.
That's the majority. Maltesers is like the best chocolate. It's just I have it in section caramel.
Dude, say in one box of fucking Celebrate, like, like the normal like tubs that cost you like $5, like those.
The tall ones or the circle? Tall ones? Oh, the big ones? Okay.
The big ones, the big ones. You get like 3 fucking Maltesers in it. Like 3, fam. That's literally why they had to do the Celebrations Malteser specific box. Because they're so good. But it's like that. But and you know what's worse is the fact that whenever we get them at Christmas, my dad sits and eats them. But he's the dude that, opens it and then puts the packet back in the fucking, tub.
Oh.
So it looks like it's there.
He plays mind games.
Yeah, because it's like, it's not even...
Your dad's literally getting you back for all the years of torture that he had to wipe your ass, and the times that he changed your diaper and you went and shat yourself directly after. Now he's getting you back.
Or just the thought that I was going to be, like a good kid, and I'm just a big disappointment, But anyway, I'm happy with that. But no, it's like, see the fucking wrappers for it. They're not even squished down or scrumpled up, so it looks like, oh, this is a wrapper. This isn't real. It's not food. It's a wrapper. It's not even like that. This is a fucking thing that looks like it's full of chocolate, and it looks like it's a Malteser one, and I am so happy whenever I get it in my hands and I open it and there's nothing there. I'm so disappointed. I'm just like, oh my god. You know, it's like whenever your mum tells you that she loves you and then you realise she doesn't. I'm like, oh, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so disheartened.
So,
But,
Maltesers is your favourite. That's not a surprise. That's a good choice. What is your least favourite?
Oh, Snickers.
Yeah!
It's like, no, it's not that. It's right. I love nuts, right? No, I don't like nuts, right? I love, you know, the bag of KP salted nuts, like, you know, the big bag
Cashew?
of blue salted nuts. No,
Oh, no.
salted ones.
I thought you meant the honey nut cashew or something.
No, it's the salted. It's like peanuts. It's like the salted.
I know what
peanuts
you mean. Yeah,
get them.
in the spa and all. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm slightly allergic to them. So every time I eat them, it's like my face goes really, 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 really warm. So it does, and it goes red. So I'm slightly allergic to nuts, but I can't stop eating them because they're amazing. But it's only them ones that like I like. It's the KP salted ones, you know, the big ones.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. But whenever you eat a fucking Snickers and you just get the nut taste from it, and you're just like, oh, it just tastes like nuts. It's disgusting. It's like, it is so gross. Like, there was one time I ate a Snickers by mistake, and it was just gross.
Why does this nut flavored chocolate bar taste like nuts?
Exactly. It's like I expected it to taste like cherries. I don't know, it's something cool. Oh, a cherry flavored chocolate? That would be decent. Is there cherry flavored chocolate? I have no idea.
See, the inventor of the Snickers needs to be arrested at the fact that they even dared to put caramel near nuts. Like, they need to be arrested for that shit. Like, because caramel is top tier, is god tier. But it's like, this is probably why I'm going to be diabetic someday. It's god tier.
It's like,
it's so nice. But then Snickers is just the only like nuts I like a little bit is no monkey nuts. But even there, like, I'm just not, like, they make me feel sick. Like, see if you open a Snickers and had it in front of me, if I smelt it, I would feel sick. Like, they generally give me a light head. Like, I'm not allergic to nuts, but if I eat them, I'll be sick. Which is weird, because I'm not allergic to them, I won't break out. But I'll be sick if I eat them, or I smell a Snickers. Yeah, because I smell like shit.
Yeah, because it smell like shit.
I'm so happy to be speaking to someone who has the sense to know that Snickers is terrible. Like, I'm so fucking up. Everybody tells me Snickers is nicer than Bounty, and I'm like, no!
No. I eat Bounty regularly, for fuck's sake. Like,
I like Bounty.
I have even picked, for some weird reason, I picked the double I was about to say Yankee bar. Fuck off. I've picked a double Bounty bar once over a Yorkie bar, and it was the best decision I ever made.
Yorkie bars are alright, but Bounties are... I like Bounties. It's like, do you want me to tell you something really funny, right? It's triggered me. So me and Katie were out the other week, and she went to Starbucks. There was two new drinks that came in. There was, I think, the strawberry raspberry one. There was a coconut raspberry one or some shit, right? She got both of them because she wanted to try them. She tried the coconut one. I don't know how she drinks these, by the way, because they're iced down, so you can taste coconut, but it's literally like 5%. Like, she says it's strong ass coconut. It ain't. You can barely taste it. It just tastes like water. So I don't know how she drinks that. But she got a coconut one. She tried it. She said she didn't want it. I said, why do you not want it? She goes, I'm not a big lover of coconut. And I looked at her and was like, why the fuck did you get the coconut one then? And she turned to me and said I wanted to try it, and I'm like, yeah, but you knew you weren't a big fan of coconuts, so the chance of you liking it was not that fucking high, so why did you get it? Why did you get it? She said I could have it, and I'm like, I would take it if it actually tasted like coconut. Do you ever get a drink, right? It's like, do you ever get a drink, or do you ever get really, really watered down Coke from like McDonald's where the ice is melt, and you drink it, it tastes like water with the slightest hint of Coke. Like, you barely taste Coke. That's what it tastes like. It was basically water with a tiny bit of coconut. But it was just funny because she goes, I'm not a big fan of coconut, and I was like, why the fuck did you get the coconut one? Why did you go buy the coconut one if you're not a big fan of coconut?
See, I don't want to sound offensive, but like only you, like it's just, you know. Only your girlfriend would do that.
It was just
that's
funny.
That's no diss on you or your girlfriend, but like only your girlfriend would do that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
See, the only thing that made it slightly less worse is the fact that she had a Starbucks card, so she didn't pay for it. And I said, you see, if you'd have done that and paid for it, I would have got really annoyed. I'm like, you wasted your money. But she actually got it for free. But I was just sitting there, I'm like, because she wanted the trat, just so she could trat, you know what I mean? And I was like, I get that. But you knew there's a high chance you wouldn't like it. It's like, see if you got it and you were like, right, I knew I wasn't going to like it that much, but I'll drink a bit of it. But she took a couple sips and then it was done, and I just didn't get it. I was just like, I don't get this. But it was, I'm so happy she done it because it was so fucking funny. It was actually, the look I give her, I looked at her like I asked her what 2 plus 2 was, and she told me it was 25. Like, I looked at her like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Jesus.
It was so funny. So cute,
yeah.
It was so funny.
Fuck me.
Oh god. Oh Christ, oh man.
Like that all my life would just be as a funny laugh.
Oh Christ, oh, well, you say Maltesers top, I say Galaxy Caramel, but I'd agree chocolate wise if caramel wasn't involved, Maltesers, and then you say Snickers is bottom, I say Snickers is bottom. So I've learned today that Shay is the only person I've ever met that has a fucking brain in his head.
Yeah.
That his taste buds aren't little pussy holes. Yeah, but it's there. Yeah. Do you have your fact? You said that there was a fact that you were gonna say it, and then you say I'll save it from a fact.
Yeah, and then we talked about your girlfriend, how funny she is, and I forgot. For fuck's sake! I go on, wait, let me.
She's memorizing.
Let me try. Oh shit! Oh shit! I actually can't remember what was the fact. What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Oh shit, fam.
Oh wait, we were talking about if money was not a thing. It would not be different, and then you were about to say something, then he goes, oh no, I'll save it for the fact. I think it was something to do with the money theory. Because before that, we were talking about the aliens and reincarnation. I don't think you brought it up then. I think you brought it up during the month.
I brought it up during the month. Oh,
well, I've woken up now with all that laughter.
I'm sorry, I can't remember right now. Like,
that's all right.
I'm going to be able to watch this podcast and then remember what it was, and then I'll text you what it was.
Do you have a fact for now? No?
No, because I completely forgot what it was, because I didn't bring them, so that's why I'm so excited and never thought of it there.
I know what's going to happen is we're going to stop this, and the second we stop it, you're like, oh, I remember what it is. What's going to happen?
Oh. You're like,
well, yeah, so...
I can't remember. I don't know the fact. I'm really sorry, people. But, you know... Here, maybe you could... Right, there you go. Even though you're still sending questions in, send in facts, and I'll just say your facts. So, there you go. Send in a fact, and Joshua will send it to me, and I'll choose one of them out of 10. And I'll say that, because I'm good. So, you know, and then you get to hear the famous guy on your fucking mobile phone talk, and say what you said. So, because I'm famous now. That's my monologue, I'm sorry. I don't think of myself as famous. Yet.
I don't know why I found that so funny. Oh god. Well, yeah,
that's an idea though.
It is. Yeah, that's the questions. I love how one of them was like one of them that needed like a. Do you know what I find funny? this is what I find funny. Just before we end it, one of them was a serious question that needed a serious answer, which was what would you like to know the full truth to? One of them was just a fun question, and the fun question is the one that I went up into the camera and I said you're a little bitch, and I started yelling at the phone. It was the fun. It was supposed to be the fun one that I was like, I see this. This is life or death right here. This shit's serious. This is World War III. All the people who don't like bounties and all the people who do. I was like, we'll settle it once and for all. See, like that Big Josh thing, but it's the opposite. It's that. It's like we're doing it. But yeah, we'll call it there if you don't have a fact then.
Yeah. Sorry.
You just have one for next week. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. We did smash like, but like I said, comment down below and let us know if you want us to do a podcast, because we do one each week and we cover a few different topics. But if you want us to do a podcast that is strictly based on one thing that's like theory or like just something that basically would take up a full podcast and have proper discussion, even if it's a short podcast, long podcast, doesn't matter, let us know in the comments what you would, if you want to see that, and give us random topics. And if me and Shay think that topic we have enough to say about it, well then we'll do it, and we'll hopefully get that up at some point, because we need to do another one of them again. So like the video, comment that down below and let us know. Smash the button if you haven't already. Check out my links, check out Shay's links as always. Yeah, I've been Undisputed, that's been Shay. Hope you all have an amazing day. Think positive, test negative. And because you don't have facts, Shay, do you have anything to say this time? Because you don't have facts.
The fact is that I am a very big disappointment.
Same.
Brothers, man.
now we're brother ladies.
Now we're disappointment, brothers.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I hope you all enjoyed. I've been Undisputed, that's been Shay, and we'll see you in the next one. So peace.
Peace.